Yo guys, I know I said in this episode, again, I'll have my first special guest, but I don't know what happened. We recorded the interview and the recording hasn't been processed yet. So whenever it's gonna process or if it's gonna process, I'm going to upload it. But since that didn't happen, I will start in this episode the Keys to Health series, which is made of 5 components: rational nutrition, sensible exercise, efficient rest, proper hygiene, and positive attitude. And yeah, welcome back to Motivated by Pain, where you can learn how to bring out the hidden potential in you so you can create the best version of yourself. New episodes out every Monday in English and every Friday in Romanian. So subscribe and click on the bell next to the subscribe button for notifications. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Dragon Ball cartoons, but I love them. I grew up with them and they're a huge part of my childhood. And the reason I'm talking about this is because ever since I started planning the Keys to Health series, I was looking for different names, not just sleep, diet, nutrition, exercise, and all of that. And I noticed that this poster with Son Goku, which is my favorite character from Dragon Ball Z, handed it to me all along. And since it was there, I had to use it. So here comes the first key to health: rational nutrition, or diet. You hear people all the time talk about diet and what to eat, but very few of them actually talk about what not to eat, or more specifically, how not to eat. Yes, I'm talking about fasting, the science of not eating. I'll break down the process and then I'll show you an easy way to do it. You hear people complain all the time about their health and about their weight, but very few of them choose to look into fasting. They seem scared. And to be honest, this is how it's been portrayed so far, at least from what I've noticed. Our parents tell us all the time, you gotta eat so you can be strong. But that only creates the perception of not eating being unhealthy. And what does that do? That robs us from the benefits we can get from fasting. You see, this ancient health hack has been used since the beginning of time by nature and by humans also. But now it seems to be forgotten. Why is that? The most common issue people complain all the time is extra weight. Oh, I'm too fat. Oh, I'm never gonna lose weight. Oh, losing weight is too hard. But the truth is that most people who say shit like this don't do anything about it. They just complain. Stop fucking complaining and do something about it. If you're fat and have no health conditions, then you're fat by choice. And nobody's gonna lose that weight for you but you. People put on weight in a few different ways, most of which we can control. Some of the ways we can control are eating too much, eating the wrong foods, lack of sleep, lack of exercise, and stress, anxiety, and depression. Some of the ways we cannot really control are diabetes, metabolism slowing down with age, and thyroid problems. So if you don't have any of these problems, then you're fat by choice. And just to make this clear, I don't have any problem with fat people. I just don't like their indifference to all the tools they have available, but they never use. Fasting is a great tool for losing weight, and if done properly, it can become enjoyable and bring you a very long list of benefits. There's just so much science behind it. Here are some benefits that might help you change your mind. Fasting reduces your risk of heart disease. It reduces your blood pressure and cholesterol levels. It reduces your insulin and blood sugar levels. It protects your brain from neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and cancer. It boosts your metabolism for fat loss thanks to the ketone production. It strengthens your immune system. It increases your testosterone and human growth hormone levels. It reduces ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. Removes waste material from the cells. It makes you live longer by lengthening your telomeres. And it improves your focus and helps you build discipline in other areas of your life. As you can see, the list of benefits here is endless. I'll now take a few of them and break them down. My personal favorite is the process of autophagy. And autophagy is simply a process of cellular cleansing, where your body takes old and damaged cells and uses them as fuel for the duration of the fast. So basically, your strong cells eat your weak cells, and that will be your food throughout the fast. The second one is the healing and repairing of your body. This is where your body creates new stem cells, which are blank cells that get used by your body for whatever is needed, like bone, muscle, or organ tissue. And the third one is the increase in focus and energy. And this is due to your body depleting its glycogen stores and switching from burning glucose to burning fat for fuel. This is also known as ketosis. And you might know about ketosis if you're familiar with the ketogenic diet. Here are some different ways you can fast. You can do a 24-hour dry fast, where you don't eat anything and don't drink anything for 24 hours. Then you can do a 24-hour to 72-hour water fast, where you're allowed water, green tea, and some people say black coffee. I personally use black coffee, but make sure if you use black coffee or tea, don't have any sugar, don't have any milk, don't have any cream, and no sweetener. And then there's intermittent fasting, with the most popular being the 16-8, the 24, the OMAD diet, and the alternate day fasting. Now let's break down intermittent fasting. Many people say that intermittent fasting is a diet, but in fact is an eating protocol. For example, in the 16-8, you have the 16-hour fasting window and the 8-hour eating window. So let's say you have your dinner tonight at 6 p.m. and you don't eat anything until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. when you have your breakfast, and that's 16 hours. Then in the 24, also known as the warrior diet, you have the 20 hours fasting window and the 4-hour eating window. And in the OMAD diet, which OMAD stands for 1 meal a day, you have a 23-hour fasting window and a 1-hour eating window. When I've done the OMAD diet for nearly a month, every single time I used to break my fast, I used to stuff myself with at least 4,000 calories in that 1 hour. Because I was on the ketogenic diet, it was quite easy to get to the 4,000 calories due to the high content of fat. And then you have the alternate day fast, where you eat normal for 1 day and then the next day you fast for 24 hours. So you have your dinner tonight at 8 p.m. and you don't eat anything until tomorrow evening for dinner, which is 24 hours. That's all I had on intermittent fasting. Now let's break down prolonged fasting. One of the biggest benefits of fasting is autophagy. Autophagy starts after about 16 hours of not eating, and the best fast for maximum autophagy benefits is in between 24 to 72 hours. During a prolonged fast, our body repairs our DNA. Our DNA has these things at the end of each chromosome called telomeres. Telomeres act as the protective shield for our chromosomes when cells divide, which is constant. The more the cells divide, the shorter and weaker your telomeres will be, and this will impact the quality of your cell's production. Here's this analogy to make you understand better. Imagine you have a shoelace, and at the end of the shoelace you have the small plastic cap. Well, if that plastic cap starts to wear off, you're left with a shoelace that starts to fray. And telomeres work on the exact same principle. Not with the shoelaces, but with the DNA chain. The weaker and shorter your telomeres, the more susceptible you'll be to the toxins in your body. And here comes in fasting and saves the day, by lengthening your telomeres, which will make you live longer and feel better. But do you know what else helps to lengthen your telomeres? It is gratitude. But that's a subject for another episode. Now, was that clear enough? Does that make you understand better why you should fast every now and then? I personally do intermittent fasting at least 5 days a week. My favorite is the 16-8. Sometimes it's 18-6, depending on how I feel. But I've done all of them. I've done the 16-8, the 24, the OMAD, the alternate day fasting for at least 1 month each when I was on the ketogenic diet. But my body seems to like the 16-8 the most. So you should experiment with fasting too and see what your body agrees with. You won't regret it. Here are some things to keep in mind. Most people complain about headaches, dizziness, and fatigue during a fast. And that's because they don't take care of their electrolyte levels in the body, which is sodium, potassium, and magnesium. You may wonder, why do I have to take care of that? Does my body not store them? Well, when we fast, we have no calorie intake. And unlike the vitamins which our body stores, our minerals get depleted every single time we urinate. Magnesium is used for normal muscle function, and sodium and potassium are necessary for the body to produce and release energy. So in order to keep them balanced, you can either take electrolyte pills, or you can do the same as I do and use salts. I use pink Himalayan salt for sodium and trace minerals, I use potassium salt for potassium, and I take 1 or 2 magnesium tablets every day when I fast. Another benefit of using salts the same as I do is that salt keeps you satiated and you won't feel as hungry. And usually during a fast, when you feel the hungriest is when your body knows you're supposed to have a meal, like breakfast or lunch. That's when your body and your stomach secretes more acid to help you digest the food. But that hunger only lasts for about 1 hour until the acid calms down. Here's how I use the salts. I take 1/6 of a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt, 1/6 of a teaspoon of potassium salt, mix them in 500 milliliters of water, and take 1 magnesium tablet. I usually do this once or twice a day during a prolonged fast. That depends on you. And don't worry about the salty taste of the water because you won't feel it, as the salt is not enough for you to feel the taste. Here are 2 very important things. Before you take potassium supplements, check with your doctor to make sure you don't have hyperkalemia, which is high levels of potassium in your blood. And also, fasting should not be done by anorexic people, people with bulimia nervosa, type 1 diabetes, and pregnant women. Here's another piece of advice. Break your fast the right way. Because you don't want to ruin the fast by eating garbage after you just put all that effort into fasting. Best things to break it with is avocado, eggs, nuts, or cooked vegetables because they're very easy to digest. So just honor the effort you put into the fast by breaking it the right way. One last thing to mention is that during the fast, your immune system is not necessarily stronger. It's actually weaker. But when you refeed, that's when your immune system gets stronger. So if you're on a fast during these COVID-19 times, make sure to stay in the house for the duration of the fast, just to be safe. And that's it for today. I hope it helped and that you'll give it a try. If you struggle and don't know what to do, rewatch the video or drop me a comment or an email and I'll walk you through the process. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and peace.